Today I'm going to be watching more from a Norwegian show that I just recently watched for the first time, Sånn Norge. This is Norway. It is a very intelligent, entertaining show from this man Harald Eia. And it's kind of like comedy satire, but it actually is very informative. And in the first video, I really learned a lot about Norway. It was very interesting. And this one here is called My Gift to USA. So interested to see where they go with this. Tell me if you've seen this one before. Tell me what you think about it. Keep recommending more Norwegian comedy, satire, or any other Norwegian shows. But let's enjoy this one.
Dear United States of America, I say this in all honesty. We have so much to thank you for, helping us winning the war and rebuilding our nations afterwards. But most important, your ideas. The idea that we have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. More than 200 years ago, the American Revolution inspired not only my countrymen to claim our independence, but all around the world, citizens demanded their liberty and conquered tyrannies, encouraged by your achievements.
If we look to the answer as to why for so many years we achieved so much, prospered as no other people on earth, it was because here in this land, we unleashed the energy and individual genius of man to a greater extent than has ever been done before.
And now, it's time for us to give something in return. Just like we sorely needed some fresh ideas 200 years ago, I think it's fair to say that you now seem to be in need of some new ideas. Not only are you less proud of being Americans than you used to be, you are more and more unhappy. On international measures of self-reported life satisfaction, US has dropped from the 13th to the 18th place. And who reigns on top of the chart in happiness? The Scandinavian countries. In pretty all measures of quality of life, we are on top. So here's our idea that I hope can inspire you. It's an invention that I call the Freedom Machine. This machine solves a dilemma that has haunted humans since the dawn of time. On one hand, we all need help from others our entire lives. As children, we need help with everything. Later, we need help if we want to get an education, if we're sick, or if we get ourselves in trouble. And we do that sometimes, especially men. On the other hand, we do appreciate being free and independent.
Well, the bottom line is it's kind of just human nature that you don't like somebody telling you what to do.
And why is this a dilemma? Because in the real world, there's no such thing as a free lunch. In the real world, you cannot expect any help from others without having to give something in return. This explains the discomfort of receiving a gift without having one to give back, as Sheldon in the Big Bang Theory pointed out when he got a present from Penny.
You bought me a present?
Uh-huh.
Why would you do such a thing?
I don't know, because it's Christmas?
Oh, Penny, I know you think you're being generous, but the foundation of gift-giving is reciprocity. You haven't given me a gift. You've given me an obligation.
Take the relationship between young adults and their parents. On average, American parents pay more than $58,000 for the kids to have a proper education. And what happens when your parents are paying for you? They have a say in where and what you should study. They feel obliged to visit you at your university to check if everything's okay. And since they have paid for you, it's only natural that in return for all this, your parents expect frequent reports.
Hi, Liam. Hi. Do you remember me? I'm your mommy. Do you ever once in a while be like, wow, I went to 12 years of school at Simon & Jude in Louisiana, and I wonder who signed those checks every year. Well, yours truly did, Mommy and Daddy.
When you receive so much help from your parents, you never get the chance to become independent. A poll by the New York Times found that 3/4 of parents with children between the ages of 18 and 28 said that they had reminded the children of school and other deadlines they needed to meet, like haircuts and doctor's visits. When the creator of the Norwegian TV series Skam, Julia Andem, was making an American version of the show, she had to rewrite the script to make it believable to an American audience, because in the Norwegian version, the teenagers live independent lives with limited interference from the parents. As she put it, American parents are on a much larger scale present and involved in their children's lives.
What do you think about that? Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing? I think it being a financial obligation or having that relationship or that responsibility because of money is not a good thing, but I think having parents be involved in their children's lives, even to some extent as they get older, I think it's still a good thing to have that strong family unit and have that support. Being from Scotland, being from the UK, being from Europe, of course, we definitely, I feel, get a lot of independence being young. Even from my mid-teens, I didn't really want to spend any time with my parents. I was always with friends and trying to do my own thing. I think somewhere in the middle is okay. What do you think about the Norwegian way of life with regards to being very independent from young? I now live in Asia, where actually it's even stronger of an influence from family until a lot older. They still have that relationship. So there's like a big scale in most different countries, actually.
In Scandinavia, it's not the parents, but the state that pays for education. Our parents do not have to sign any checks. We apply the state educational loan fund, get our money, and an email saying, "Good luck with your education. Best regards, the state educational loan fund." What they don't write is, "Shouldn't you be studying something else? What are you going to do with art history degree? Will you ever get a job? And why haven't you called? You never call." Obviously, Scandinavian youth love their parents, but what the loan fund and free education provide is a parent-child relationship without the commitment and guilt. Hence, the level of independence is far greater.
Tell me more about that loan fund, because being from Scotland, we don't have anything like that. Everything's just free. You don't have to pay anything. You don't have to get any funds from anywhere. You just go to school, come back. You don't have to do anything. There's no money involved anywhere. And that's right up until university. Actually, we have free primary, high school, and further education at university as well. And there's no real implication for cost there. How does the Norwegian system work with that?
That's
loan
one
fund?
thing the freedom machine does. It sets you free from your parents. The machine also sets you free from your bosses. On YouTube, there are videos of Americans resigning from their jobs in spectacular ways. I personally enjoy this one because of the nuances he presents.
I quit. That's because you're a horrible employer. You're a good person. I appreciate everything you've ever done for me, but I quit, G. This place fucking sucks.
This is a rare sight in Scandinavia. On online forums, people write, "Should I quit my job? I feel guilty for considering it. By quitting now, I probably cost them a small fortune. And I feel rotten for doing this to my boss." Why do Scandinavians have a less strained relationship to their bosses than Americans? It's because in the US, your boss has so much more power over you. Your boss can fire you at any given time. You are more dependent on your boss, not only because of low unemployment benefits, but because medical care is tied to your workplace.
What else did you lose?
I lost my benefits, my health insurance.
And so what has that meant for you in terms of getting health care?
I don't have it for myself or my family.
When your relationship to your boss gives you this amount of inferiority and dependency, you might stay in a job you dislike for too long. And when you finally decide to move on, it's a grand and dramatic choice. I quit! In Scandinavia, on the other hand, we have some allies that the Americans lack. That changes how we relate to our boss. We have the Working Environment Act that protects us from being fired without a proper reason. If we lose our job and our child falls ill, we're not in deep trouble because we'll get decent unemployment benefits and free medical treatment. So the decision to finally resign doesn't feel as grand and dramatic. Here's a Swedish guy who is inspired by the Americans and resigns in public, but without that boiled up anger.
Ett kundmeddelande. Efter snart 11 års deltidsarbete som serviceinriktad kassör slänger jag idag in handduken för gott. Jag vill passa på att tacka er alla kunder som indirekt betalat min lön. Jag vill även tacka personal och ledning som fått mig att trivas och stanna kvar. Slutligen vill jag passa på att inför framtida utmaningar önska mig själv ett stort lycka till.
The freedom machine also liberates you from your spouses, or, to call a spade, liberates women from men. All straight women dream of a man that is kind, handsome, and exciting. But when you're choosing a guy to have kids with, you need to get realistic. This is when American women use a different set of criteria than their Scandinavian sisters. The big question becomes...
So, how to get a rich guy?
I'm going to be talking about money and why it is that you should only marry a guy who has it.
How to attract rich men into your life.
By the way, here's a great tip if you want to meet rich men.
I encourage you to go to coffee shops that are in financial districts. The second place that I'll go where I'll see tons of high quality men, and I'm really shocked that there's not tons of women swarming these events, are interesting business networking events.
Not all women.
See, the thing is, you say high quality men. I don't think there's a real correlation between high quality and high income. I don't think that's a fair thing, but that's definitely possibly just a very American way to look at it. What do you think about that? Is it really, what is this getting at? Is it more like just that having that socialist system in Scandinavia? Do you think that's just a better thing for employees and for the country overall? Do you think that a similar system could ever be implemented in the USA?
Are interesting business networks.
Ask American women which characteristics they find important in a husband. 71% of them say it's very important that a man can financially support his family. Why do American women care so much about men's income? Is it because they're superficial? No, it's all about practicalities. If you are an American woman and you want to have a child, the average delivery now costs more than $4,500, even with insurance. You will not get paid maternity leave, you won't get cheap daycare, and you won't get child support. This is why you need a man to support the family. And this is why 27% of American women end up being stay-at-home moms. The men are required to bring home the bacon, so broke men are hurting American women's marriage prospects. But in Scandinavia, where women can, thanks to the government, give birth for free, get paid maternity leave, cheap daycare, and monthly child support for everyone, of course, it's nice to have a man, but they are not dependent on him. Also, having those arrangements means that mothers can work and earn a living. Only 4% of Norwegian moms stay at home. It's not gender bias training that has made this possible. It's government-funded services that allow Scandinavian women to have more freedom and equality than American women. We rank highest on the World Economic Forum's Global Gender Gap Index, while you rank as number 53. It's now time to reveal the freedom machine. A government that solves this eternal dilemma of receiving support while also maintaining your freedom. And the great thing about the state is it's impersonal. It has no feelings. It just helps you without wanting anything in return, besides taxes, that is. But the level of taxes is not that bad. We're not emigrating, and we're the happiest people in the world, remember? But hold on, many Americans claim the contrary, that a strong state fails to liberate its residents.
I think you all know that I've always felt the 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
So, does this state machine really set Scandinavians free? One way to measure freedom is simply to ask people, are you satisfied with the freedom you have to do as you please in life? Then we can see which countries have the highest percentage being satisfied with the level of freedom. On top of the list, we find countries with strong welfare state, and then way down the list is the US with your relatively weak state that leaves you more alone. On other charts measuring personal freedom, we see the same pattern. Scandinavians crush the Americans. You used to be the shining city up on a hill. No, we, in all humbleness, have taken that place. So dear USA, like us, you love independence, but in being fixed on this idea that the state limits your personal freedom, you have actually become more dependent. Without public support, you must rely on your parents, your employers, and your partners to take care of you. Please, please swallow your pride and do as we have done. Build a powerful, competent, impersonal, caring government machine that sets you free. This idea is our gift from your friends and allies in Scandinavia. Thank you for your time. Good luck.
Yeah, so tell me what you think about that. I mean, that's an interesting video to watch, especially as this is an election year in the USA, but I feel like the government in the USA, whether it's Republican or Democrat, just have no interest in the true prosperity of the country for some reason. They all say they want the best for the people, but we can see over the last 15 to 20 years that's seemingly not the case. They've allowed the country to decline through various different ways. And yeah, I don't know, like it just seems like it's too difficult to change it. I feel like the American people are like, they would definitely like to have all these benefits, for sure. It's not the people who don't want like healthcare, these like maternity, paternity benefits and so on. I think the American people would love all of that, but for some reason the government just doesn't want to put the policies or processes in place to allow that to happen. Tell me why you think that might be. But yeah, very interesting show again from Harald Eia and Sånn in Norge. A show that kind of really does make you think, and it's interesting in this way to look at the comparison between Norway and the USA as well. So tell me, if you're from Norway, what do you think about this? Do you think a similar system to Norway could ever be implemented in the USA? Would there be any desire from it from any American government? Tell me what you think in the comments and keep recommending more Norwegian shows. Thanks.